Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Marhaba, Bahrain. This is Chuck Campbell.
Gesundheit.
With
Wayne Bledsoe and
John Baker.
That's a hello to Bahrain. I think I saw them a couple of days ago. I did see them, and I believe that was our first listener from Bahrain. So good for that. Yeah. So that's awesome. So today's topic is songs that give us energy. We're here, rolling through July with nothing but hot days and hot nights ahead with July and August and into September. And I don't know about you guys, but my energy is mostly dictated by caffeine. And I try to parcel it out during the day. I don't ever want to be over caffeinated because that just causes even more. Yeah. But I don't want to be under caffeinated either. And one, way to undercut that is to have music that gives me energy because you don't have caffeine running through your system. But you were taking it maybe a little different direction than I was, Wayne, or no?
I don't know. I mean, when you proposed this one, I immediately thought of songs that are energetic and I put on to get charged up. And, So I think that's what I've done. I mean, it's sometimes the intent of the song, the message of the song, but mostly it's just how over the
visceral.
Top. Yeah, it's just
this is all primal for me. These are all songs that are it's just the energy in the song. It's not, it's not like a really motivating ballad or anything like that. So, okay.
Well, the funny thing to me when we're talking, when I started putting it together, it was like, this is where I really go back to my old favorites and standards because that's what I've used them for. Mm-hmm. I use them to medicate your different emotions and inspire you.
It's like these kind of songs sort of hit you on the brain stem more than your cerebrum. I mean, it's like you just feel it in your gut.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just is propulsive. That's what I think of.
Physical reaction just to the sonic cues of the song.
Things that make you bob your head up and down.
Yeah.
Well, when I was doing the late night radio show, that's generally what I would start the show out with, is something really super high. Other than when I stopped playing Why by Yoko Ono to
Right.
And believe me, it did.
Yoko Ono and bluegrass are incompatible.
I kind of thought of this. Topic from my days living in Florida and all the vacations I've taken to Florida. I would always look forward to the middle and end of summer because the ocean is at its warmest, right? And it can get in the mid 80s and even upper 80s in the surf water can, where I lived in Central Florida. And I found that visiting there then or whatever, it's like the ocean may be 88 degrees, but then the air temperature may be 98 degrees. And then you add the humidity and the feels like temperature is way into the hundreds. And I would always go with the best intentions and it'd be like, oh, the water's too hot. The beach is even hotter. And I would always end up in the hotel room peeking out from the curtains with the air conditioning on blast. So it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. So I was just thinking of a good time for energy, and I think dog days of summer and all that stuff that you might need a boost, even though you might not think you would. And all that daylight, you just have so much daylight.
Yeah. As an irony, today is the summer solstice.
Yes, when you hear people who hear this a month from now,
I know,
say,
but
we recorded this on the summer solstice.
You bring up extra daylight.
Yeah. And this is right, and. Will still be long days of the year, for
July.
Months to come. Yeah.
I still miss it when it's the opposite.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I still would take this over winter. How I feel about winter.
It's still light at 9:00 here. And in the winter, it gets dark at 5:20 in the afternoon. That's just horrible.
Well, so I kind of did a more like you guys. I didn't really do any research. I just started writing down songs, and there's some overlap here because we've done motivating songs before, songs to change your mood and stuff like that. But I think this time we're really looking for the physical reaction to the songs rather than, hey, this is an uplifting song or something like that, right?
For the most part, yeah. There's a couple that are both.
Yeah. I've got some exceptions too.
Yeah, but mostly it's just, this is going to pump you up.
Yeah. Arnold. So I've only got 2 songs from the 70s, and that's 78, because when I went back and I was thinking, I was thinking of disco era and all that stuff, songs from when I was a kid and everything. Songs back then, I think we've just been putting more and more caffeine in our music, because there's so much more. The kind of music I listen to is way more impactful, physically impactful now than it used to be. And songs that I remember as being fast, and hard hitting and everything, when I listen to them now, after what I've heard for the last few decades, they don't seem as strong. Still great songs. It's not that I don't like them, but and maybe it's just me or just what I listen to. But, disco, for example, I used to think that was like really, kind of a pounding kind of music. And now it just sounds like new age music or something.
It sounds weirdly organic to me now.
Yeah.
The recording technology's changed a lot too.
Right. Yeah, and everything's more precise and hard hitting, and there's no room for I don't know, deviating from the formula of the song and such. And I mean, that can be good or bad. Some music is better if the more precise it is, the better it is. And some music is like it loses its soul if you just clip it.
In the 70s, I mean, a lot of disco, the technology for MIDI syncing electronic drums and synthesizers together, that was just being invented. I mean, Giorgio Moroder was just inventing in the 70s for Donna Summer, basically.
Right. And I remember hearing that Donna Summer's song, would come on the radio. I was like, this is so different from everything else. And I don't know, Wayne was like, yuck, what's this garbage? But, it sounded so different. So I think it would make me excited just because of how different it was and everything. But I can listen to it now and it sounds not sedate, but, not nearly as pumped as it used to.
I mean, everybody doing rave era and, all the beats per minute going up, up. It's like that really changed it. To me, it exhausts me.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, certainly.
I get really tired really quick. I'm when I'm going back to this, I'm going back to just kind of old-fashioned rock and roll for the most part, because to me that was the most energetic and the most okay, this is pumping me up.
Don't even with me. There's no way. I mean, I don't, because I didn't have any, mental connection to that music anyway. And then something like a Pink Floyd, I don't know if I could stay awake through some of their stuff.
Pink Floyd never had anything.
No, they were not meant to pump you up.
No. Well, why don't you tell us some of these old rock and roll songs that punched you up?
And I didn't put this on I just got back from the beach, and I made a flash drive with favorites on there. And, one of the ones, and this is from the 50s, and it's been
a
couple times, but it's Billy Lee Riley and the Little Green Men with Red Hot. My gal is red hot, your gal ain't doodly squat. And it's like that whole era, rockabilly was just super energetic.
Yeah.
And it's come back around. That style has come back over and over again.
Yeah, and it's this early rock and roll. That's what, when punk came back, or when punk came out, it was like that's all they were doing, is they were saying, oh, to hell with all this prog stuff and all this complicated stuff. Let's just go back to 4/4 rock and roll.
Just for
three chords and a cloud of dust.
Yeah. Right. And all that stuff. I mean, I think about it's later than that, but I think about the Replacements, I Will Dare, which is a little slower than some of that stuff. And every time that comes on, I mean, I never listen to it just once. I always put it on repeat. I listen to it at least 3 times every time it comes up on my playlist. I feel this. It's great.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this is I've never listened to that music ever, so it doesn't. I'm thinking more of the kinds of stuff I used to listen to. Like I thought, are there any Beatles songs that'll do that for me? And I thought, well, what about Wings? And I thought of Jet and how much I love that song. And I listened to it. It's like, oh, I don't. It's not giving me a lift anymore. It's like if you're used to 30 milligrams of caffeine, all of a sudden you're on a daily dose of 100 milligrams of caffeine. That 30 milligrams isn't going to work the way you think it would. I still like the song. I still love the sonics and everything, but it doesn't have the emotional lift now.
It's funny because of the energy in the early Beatles stuff. I want to hold your hand, she loves you and stuff like that. I mean, it's real energetic. But the one that I go back to is back in the USSR. Okay. Actually sounds like a Beach Boys song.
Right.
Yeah. And it's, Chuck Berry and all that stuff, it all goes back to that. But it is funny because after all these years, it does seem a little slower than it did when I listen to it. because there's been so much stuff. That's
Well, thanks for giving me a a little acknowledgement there. Yeah, so it just does when you're just, and plus, I went down the, dance music and pop music and that path, with my career and everything, and everything just gets faster and faster and faster.
But that's what I was saying before, is like that exhausting.
Yeah,
I mean,
it can.
If you've got 1 minute of however many beats per second that is, it's just like, okay, I just need to, I need to go sit somewhere.
Where's the chill out room?
Yeah,
it just makes me nervous. It doesn't energize me.
Sure.
I got a couple from the 70s.
What? Oh, I got plenty of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I just think in terms of, mostly for me, energetic music involves riff rock, guitar riffs, and who better to do guitar riffs than AC/DC?
Right. That's a good one.
And I picked one song that I don't think ever gets recognized, but it's got the most killer riff in it. It's from their album Power Age from 1978. The song is called Riff Raff. And it's just got this badass guitar riff in it that I love, and I've turned so many people onto it. People that know AC/DC and they just don't know this song.
Right.
But that was the last album that was produced by Harry Vanda and George Young. And they were both in the Easy Beats, which were early like Beatles influenced pop band from Australia. They were probably the biggest pop band from Australia in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
And then they went on to form Flash in the Pan, but George Young was Angus and Malcolm's brother, who were the two guitar players in AC/DC. So that I guess that must have been them firing their brother, but then they got Mutt Lange, and then they just vaulted into superstardom.
Right. Right.
So I don't know, but anyway, Riff Raff from AC/DC's Power Age. Go look it up. It's a badass riff.
Okay.
Well, one of the ones that I used to hurt myself every time I would have a party and play this.
You mean you tried to dance?
Yes, I did.
This is when Wayne tried to. I wish there was a video somewhere of you trying to dance.
I'm glad there's not. I'm glad there's not. Because
you look like Elaine from
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
I used to describe it as a chicken having an epileptic seizure.
Oh.
Because it was awful. But, someplace around 2 o'clock in the morning when we were all good and drunk, I would put on, and it was only on a B-side. It was a 45, the live version of The Who doing Marvin Gaye's Baby Don't You Do It, influenced by the band's version of Baby Don't You Do It.
Okay.
But it was...
The band.
Yeah, the band.
Yes.
But it just had so much energy, and the guitars were crazy, and it was like the drums were just amazing. And then
this is Keith Moon,
Moon just flailing at the drums.
It's like a drum solo. Every song is just like a one continuous drum solo. With him.
And at some point, I would always wind up kind of tripping up and hitting my head on a wall or a mantle or something. And
you just need to put on a helmet when you put this song on.
I should have. But it's great. And you couldn't find it for years except on the B-side of a 45.
Okay.
Is it available now?
Yeah, you can find it now. In fact, I realized later on they released like the complete song. They had edited it down to just the most high-energy parts.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I think it was like 8 minutes, and they edited it down to like 6.
Okay.
And it's...
Well, I wanted to try. I thought surely ABBA has something. And all of the 70s acts, surely ABBA has something that energizes me. And it's not Dancing Queen at all, because that one, I listen to that now, and it just seems slow and kind of like plodding. They had a song called Voulez-Vous, which has a little more energy to it. But it's a Take a Chance on Me, not because it was like a big booming electric song, but this song, the construction of the song is so precise, and so like every little, 3-beat handoff to a transition to another part of the song, and every little detail is like just totally fussed over, and in a good way. And it's like this really clear, bright, pop song, and it starts with the two women singing in unison like they always do, with the "If You Change Your Mind," and then as soon as they do that, the two men sing in unison with a counter vocal with the "Take a Chance, chant, take a chance," and it's like you get that initial excitement right off the bat, and it just moves from. There's so many pieces to that song you would never know. It just sounds like a simple pop song, just a playful song about desire and all that, but it's got so much to it. And so that one I just react to because it is pretty up tempo and everything, but it's the little pieces that are all playing out, and I'm hearing all the little bits of it.
I've never been a big ABBA fan, but I got to say that's pretty hard not to like that song.
That's a really hard song to dislike. Yeah, I think so. I agree. And then as far as disco, I just did Knock on Wood, Amy Stewart. I know that's a cover of someone you've talked about before. Because
Eddie Floyd did the original.
Okay.
Knock On.
Okay.
Stacks.
Yeah.
Well, Amy Stewart hit #1 with it. And why I picked that one, it's the only disco song on here, is there's just so much muscle in the rhythm and the beat, and then she's got this just power vocal singing, and it's just this big dovetail, and it's real brassy too, so I don't know. It's when I'm listening to most of these disco songs, they don't seem to have the oomph in 2026 that they did back then, but this one's still packed a punch. So I've pulled that out as my token disco song.
I don't have any disco songs.
I've got some that resemble disco.
Okay, go with those before I go to one of my old standbys.
My wife and I go to music festivals often. We just got back from one, Bonnaroo. And at a previous Bonnaroo, we discovered this band. I'm not exactly sure where they're from, but they're called Chick Chick Chick. It's spelled 3 exclamation points. Uh-huh. And they are a dance band, and the lead singer, we came up with, he's a cross between Mick Jagger and Richard Simmons. He does all the 70s disco dances.
They probably have more in common than you think.
Probably, but the idea is just kind of wonderful.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
But the song is AM FM, and it's from 2010 from their album Strange Weather, Isn't It? I love this band. It's not normally my stuff, but I love this band. They're just fun to watch. We've traveled to see them. We flew to Chicago to see them.
I can't tell you what album. I know I've reviewed them before because the syndicate was like, "What is this? Did you forget what the band title is?" Or because you have to explain what it looks like, and that doesn't translate well in print.
No, it doesn't. But check out. They're great.
Well, I'm going back to. The Kinks came out. You Really Got Me is like burst of energy. Every time I put that on, it picks me up.
Dave Davies' guitar solo in that is just manic craziness.
And in the beginning of punk, the beginning of heavy metal, everything comes from that. But then, in the 80s, after they had gone through their rock opera stage and everything, they come back and they release Around the Dial. It's just like every time I put that on, I crank it up in the car, and it's like
they've discovered big, loud, distorted guitars, and
it's like, but you got that, and you got Life on the Road off Sleepwalker, and you got 20th Century Man off Muswell Hillbillies, which is one of those things that starts so slow, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and then by the end, it's just like,
I love that. I got so many songs like that. That's just
songs like that too.
Especially when they kick off. From the get-go, they're strong. And it's like, but that's the slowest part of the song.
Yeah.
It just builds and builds and builds. And I love how they reconcile those at the end sometimes because everybody goes a different direction.
Well, with this one, it's like, starts off with just a strum guitar, and then you hear a bass, and then you hear the drums, and then you hear an organ, and then you hear the slide guitar, and it's just like they add every little element as it goes. And the energy just gets bigger every time they put it on.
I love songs that build in layers like
that. Yeah.
Well, that's what one of my next songs from '83, "The Beach" by New Order. It's an instrumental version of "Blue Monday," which was a hit song for them. And "The Beach" is, like I say, it's just instrumental, and it just starts out with that. And it's very electronic, but the layers. It starts out like right off the bat, you're running, and then here comes something else, and then here comes the rhythm kicking in, and then here comes, something booming, and just like, and again, I've got a lot of songs that do that kind of thing, and that was just one that I remember whenever I would listen to it, when I would first hear it, I just instantaneous, energy.
Yeah. And this is like one of the late in Superdrag's career, but they have an album called Last Call for Vitriol. And it starts off with Baby Goes to 11, which is another one that starts off, it's just a strum of an electric guitar, and then all of a sudden the drums kick in. It's the favorite drum sound of all time. It's just pop, 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 and then it's just like it takes off.
Yeah.
And man, it's another one. It's like I've never listened to it just one time.
Right.
And then when that song ends on that album, it goes right into a song that Sam Powers wrote called "I Can't Wait." This keeps the energy high.
Yeah. Oh, cool!
And it's like, oh yeah,
right.
that album, that's one of my favorite Superdrag albums.
Me too. And it's just like, but I don't know that there's a better 1-2 punch on any album than those two songs, because it's like, okay, and then all of a sudden it kicks in with one that's even faster.
Right. Wow. That's a great a great trick right there. While I'm in 83, I'm going to mention Men Without Hats, again, a remix version. Men Without Hats, Safety Dance. The original version that they released as a single was terrible. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it's just like, and the remix, totally different. It starts and it's just this little vibing kind of rhythm and everything. And the lead singer, spells out the word safety and in like an echo chamber. Yeah. And it's like it pulls you into this whole other world just by this kind of weird, undulating kind of vibe, and it pulls you in, and you're just in it. And once you're in it, you're trapped in it. And then the woman backup singer, she spells out the word, and it just takes you somewhere else. And it's a place I usually like to go.
I need to listen to this long version because you brought it up many times.
It's so different from the original single where they're just kind of,
Back when we were at the paper, you talked about it a
lot. Yeah.
I mean, I remember that song, but I don't remember it being any. It's just like.
Well, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The original, the hit song is just down, now. It's like, okay, all right.
How do you find the remix?
Oh, it's everywhere, and they even play. It's actually, I think, it's more popular than the one that was the official top 40 hit.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll have to look for that.
And of course, they played it in all the dance bars. I'm sure you guys went to. So. And while I'm in the 80s, before I forget, Do You Want to Hold Me by Bow Wow Wow?
Yeah.
Now, I Want Candy, you would think would be like kind of the hipper one and everything. But Do You Want to Hold Me's got this whole different, you remember that one? It was like, little Annabella the Wind. She was 13 when she started singing with Bow Wow Wow. And she was 16 when Do You Want to Hold Me came out. And it's kind of like a beach rock. The guitar's kind of distorted in a way that I'm sure you would be able to identify exactly what kind of style that is, John. And they're kind of throwing barbs at America. It's a British band, right. So they're talking about Mickey Mouse. You don't want to know, But she's got this kind of like, it's her and her charisma, and she's got that girl voice, but she's got a good voice. And like, there's this whole thing where she's well, like when Mickey Mouse, he don't want to. He's like, Mickey Mouse, he don't want to know. But there's this give and take with a gibberish, and it's like the guys are going ba da ba ba da da, and she's going whoa. And I don't know, just the exchange and the energy and the charisma. It's more vocals than anything, but it is. It just when I listen to that, I'm like, oh yeah, I forget that because it comes out in the odd guitar style, which I wish I knew what it was. It'll probably be very apparent to John when he hears it. And then one more 83 song, that's Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It's a chugging song, not at all subtle with its lyrics. It's got a throbbing rhythm too. Yeah. So, it's all about sex and everything. And it's pretty blunt for the time, even though they weren't direct about it. And that was a predecessor, that 83 Relax by Frankie. That's actually kind of a predecessor to 1991's I Sit on Acid by Lords of Acid. Because if you think about it, they're both sexual. And the lead singer of I Sit on Acid, I think it was Jade For You instead of Lady Galore. But it was more explicit and more of the rolling kind of electronic. So because of Relax, we ended up with I'm sitting on acid.
That's one of the that's one of those things you don't play for your mom.
No. Well, I don't know your mom. Maybe.
Well, if you're talking about the 80s, and I'm going to have to go around because I didn't put mine in in chronological order.
I didn't either, and it turns out I have more 70s than I thought.
Yeah. Well, but you're in the 80s. So.
I'm in the 90s now. I have one 80s song to go back to.
Okay, well, Queen's Don't Stop Me Now.
Okay, yeah.
And what's funny about that is I always loved that song, and then the Vandals did it, which are an Orange County, California punk band.
Right.
And they did it sped up.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, as much as I like the Queen version, I think I like the Vandals version better. It's just like, by the time it's over, it's like you're shaking. There's so much energy in it.
I wish I could do my beats per minute talk because I can't remember exactly where the cutoff is, but there's a certain, there's a level for mid-tempo and then up-tempo, and then there's a point where the DJs and everything don't want to go past because then people become scary, and it seems like it might be like 180 beats per minute is like as much as people can withstand before they just lose their mind. I think I may be off on the numbers there, but anyway.
Well, slower and going back to the 70s. David Bowie's Rebel. Every time it comes on, man,
that fires you up.
Yeah.
That great guitar sound.
Yeah, and then he did a cover of Chuck Berry's song Round and Round. It's on. I got it on that first David Bowie box that came out, Sound and Vision. But it was like a B-side during the Ziggy the Ziggy Stardust era. And man, it's another one where it's like I like Chuck Berry's version, but with Mick Ronson on guitar and the energy just cranked up a little bit, and David Bowie just going after it. It's great. I mean, you cannot not want to move when you hear it.
One of David Bowie's greatest strengths, I think, was that he always found the most cutting edge guitar players. Yeah. He always had great guitar players. He discovered Stevie Ray Vaughan pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, but he gave him a national following for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was sort of a regional blues guy. He was a great guitar player, obviously, but David Bowie put him on Let's Dance, which people hate that song. I don't mind that song, but mainly because of his guitar playing.
That's kind of the only thing I like about that song, But, and there's, from the 70s, Elvis Costello's remake of Nick Lowe's What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding.
It didn't really pump me up so much. It inspires me.
It pumps me up, too. I crank it up really loud when I listen to it.
Well, from the 70s, how about Cheap Trick Surrender?
Oh, yeah.
That's just a great song.
We've talked about that song, I remember.
The song that you didn't know.
I didn't know. I'd never heard it. It wasn't a top 40 song. You guys, it was like, I guess on, rock radio, so you probably heard it over and over and everything.
It's just anthemic. It's great guitar stuff, and the sad part of it is all of those 70s CBS Cheap Trick records sound horrible. They need to be remastered. They just sound tinny and thin and soft. If you hear a Cheap Trick song come on after you've been listening to other stuff, you got to turn the radio up.
Well, when I went and listened to it, I thought, well, maybe if I was a teenager, back then and heard it,
They've done a bad job of, CBS did a bad job with the early Elvis Costello stuff. It just
and Bob Dylan stuff all sounded terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what got into CBS at the time, but anyway. Well, I got another 70s, but this is changing gears, and it's In the City by The Jam from the album In the City. And they were influenced strongly by the early Who stuff, and it's just right in your face. It's brash, and it's like, in the city, I got a lot of things I got to talk to you about. And it's a great song. It's 3 chords, straight ahead, lots of energy.
All right. So I got one last 80s song. And so one of the things I like when songs, they just get down to business, and when I'm first listening to a song, you can give me all the intro you want, but then in the future, I don't want a minute of intro before a vocal comes in, and nothing is more instantly gratifying to me than hearing a vocal first, when the vocal note kicks off the song rather than any kind of anything else. And this one doesn't exactly do that, but it's when I was thinking of Prince, I thought, well, there are a lot of energetic Prince songs. I was thinking Let's Go Crazy in 1999, but actually, contrary to what you might think, the song Kiss actually feels more energetic to me because it's got that jittery, you get the little, that's how it starts with the guitar, and then he goes, and he just comes in, and there's that little, the way he just creeps the vocal out, it has sort of this implied kind of tension that just a rolling dance song like some of those others I was talking about, it just grabs my attention more because it's so minimal.
Yeah, but and the thing is, it has that funk sound.
Yeah,
Let's Go Crazy straightly.
I love funk.
It's a rock song.
Yeah,
start to finish.
1999 is a dance song.
Yeah,
but
but no, it's
brings funk.
And but that guitar riff is so cool.
Yeah. And then when the crowd starts singing along, when I guess Wendy and Lisa or whoever is singing along, and it's just like they dish out the energy in just the right way to make it unique or original. I don't want to say unique, but anyway, they go about it a different way, but they still get there.
I like Let's Go Crazy. Let's Go Crazy is the Prince song that like fires me up more than any of them. Yeah, but I can see it with Kiss because Kiss is. It sounds like it. He's paying a little tribute to some of the funk masters. Yeah,
it's got that little funk kind of rhythm, So
I go for an early Prince song is "Party Up."
Oh yeah,
it's just it's classic early Prince. It's not. There's no substance to it. It's just to get you up.
Oh, I don't need substance. I never need substance.
It is so funky. It's not on my list, but you brought up Prince, so that's my go-to jam for Prince.
Well, Aerosmith have taken a lot of grief through the years, and They were never critical darlings. Everybody hated them. But they released an album I've talked about before called Honkin' on Bobo. And in that one, they do a version of a classic song from the 50s, Roadrunner. Mm-hmm. And they turn up the speed of it. I mean, the beats per minute is much faster. It's much more of an energetic song. And to me, that is like the best Aerosmith performance of all time. I mean, they've got, I like Aerosmith, always have, but man,
they're not so bad. You know, they're not so bad. I've heard Aerosmith songs that I like, and I would listen to again.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
I can't beat up on them.
Yeah, but that album, and I talked with both Joe Perry and Steve Tyler before it came out, and it was like this was Joe Perry's big dream project. He wanted to do this album of covers of classic R&B songs and blues songs, and you know, none of the record companies that they were with wanted to do it, and then they did, and it sold nothing. But it was great. It was like the best thing that they'd done nearly up to that point, even though they didn't have original songs on it.
Okay.
Can't touch Toys in the Attic and Rocks, though.
Great. They're great albums. I mean, I like all that early stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And they had a lot of energy.
Okay. Going back to that little Prince thing, I guess I should have gone on to
the rolling rock songs. They just kick off.
Come on, Chuck.
Ah,
Here, I'll go. You clear your throat.
Why don't you go and I'll have some tea?
I got another 70s punk influenced band, and this one song called I Found That Essence Rare by Gang of Four from their 1979 album Entertainment. Andy Gill was the main guitar player in that band, and he approached the electric guitar completely differently than a lot of guitar players. He just beat the guitar. It was almost more percussive than it was melodic. And that song in particular, the guitar textures on there are just incredible, and it influenced the way I play guitar immeasurably. So it's called I Found That Essence Rare by Gang of Four, 1979. Entertainment is the album.
Okay, so I'm back. So I wanted to talk about the songs that kick off with the vocals, like right off the bat. And one of my favorites is Alec Eiffel by Pixies from 1991. It starts, and Francis Blake Francis, or whatever. Frank Black. All those guys.
What his real name is.
Yeah, well, all of those things. The lead vocalist, he starts with Pioneer of Aerodynamics, and then the backing vocals, Kim Deal and him, they come in with a Little Eiffel, and the song just keeps going, and the guitar goes, and the riffs go, and the back and forth, and just the lyrics are so out there, and it's about Alec Eiffel building the Eiffel Tower in Paris, but it just hits full throttle, and then that was 91, and then a few years after that, I've talked about this many times before, but Buddy Holly by Weezer.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just starts right off. What's with these homies dissing my girl? It's just, I love a song that just starts. There's no guitar and drum beat and rhythm, and then, just start with the vocals. I wouldn't want that for every song because that would make me nervous, I think. But I like it when a song just like, let's just cut to the chase here,
That whole Blue album is just loaded with energy.
Yeah.
It starts off with that song, No One Else.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's funny because when they first came out, I mean, Buddy Holly took off, but there was a lot of resistance to their sound. There were a lot of people who didn't get it, and man, I got it right off the bat. You put on that first song, and it's like these chords, these guitar chords are like this weird minor thing that's making the hair stand up on the back of my neck, but I really like it.
Right. Well, and Buddy Holly was 94, and 95 Garbage came around doing the same thing. Shirley Manson with "I'm only happy when it rains," and then the song just all the way through. It's this great mashup of rock, and then these three older producer guys who also threw in keyboards and everything. But just to hear the declaration or the denouement from the beginning is just awesome. It's like I say, cut to the chase. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, another favorite of mine from at least when they first came out, the first few albums, is the Black Crowes, and they did a "Shake Your Moneymaker" album, which had a remake of a great Otis Redding song, but "Go Faster," an album or a song that came out on a later album, which for some reason has gone out of my head, the name of it, but it's like the best opening of any song any album they ever had. It's just like And it's just like Chris Roberts just goes, give me 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. And all of a sudden you hear the bass, kind of take off. And then you hear the drums come in. And then all of a sudden, boom, this song takes off. And when I put it on in the car, it's like, I do want to drive fast.
Yeah.
I've got to, purposely not hit the gas because it's so energetic.
Any song that makes you go, yeah, in the first 5 seconds,
Exactly.
it's like that's what you want.
Well, the first one I thought of fits that category, and it's Queens of the Stone Age from their album Songs for the Deaf. And the song is "You Think I Ain't Worth a Dollar, But I Feel Like a Millionaire."
Yeah.
And the whole album is based on just the idea of a radio station. And it's like, hey, what's going on out in the world? These are songs for the deaf. And the song starts, and he goes, here's this one right here. And you hear it like it's coming out of a radio speaker. You can hear the guitar riff, but it's like real small. And it plays through like 4 times, and then all of a sudden the entire band and everything just slams that riff home, and it makes you just go, yeah. It's a great song.
That's another band I really like.
And it's Dave Grohl playing the drums
Oh,
from
okay.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And he beats the crap out of the drums when he plays.
Well, one of the ones that I really like is, I love the band Cracker.
Yeah.
But they have a song called I Hate My Generation. And by the time it's over, it's like, yeah, I kind of hate my generation too. I'm really enjoying this. But the thing about it is, it's like David Lowery, the lead singer, songwriter, he has such a great squall when he's I hate my generation. You're like, yeah.
You think he was responding to talking about my generation, or?
I just think he was sick of his fellow boomers, like sometimes I am, but, it's the way it is.
Yeah, they are who they are.
And there's,
every generation has ups and downs,
They do, and we boomers get blamed for too many things.
Well, maybe not too many.
Too many right now.
I identify as an X.
Yeah.
I know you do.
We're right on the cusp.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm in the Jones, like I said before. End of the boomers.
Oh, the boomers who didn't
boomers.
benefit from the boomer.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly, but it's
You're on
still,
the tail end of the gravy train.
But yeah, there were a lot of good things that the boomers did, and we didn't elect some of the people that
Right.
the others did.
Also, while I was on the songs, just starting out with the words, the Dandy Warhols, of course, they did that with "Not If You Were the Last Junkie on Earth."
Yeah, I know you love that song.
Because I just love the first line. I've said this before. The first line is, "I never thought you'd be a junkie because heroin is so passé." Before any music or anything like that, that just throws out this snide kind of, I don't care about your heroin addiction, of all things to be addicted to, and that's just their vibe and everything. But that was in '97, and also, I had that paired up with something else. So, Volcano Girls by Veruca Salt. That's in 1997, and it starts with just "Leave me lying here because I don't want to go," and then there's like this whole electric fury of the band and everything, and and they're talking about eruption and women who've just had enough and everything. But I paired that up with another song that kicks butt, and that's "Ready to Go" by Republica. Mm-hmm. So you got Veruca Salt saying, "Leave me lying here, I'm not going with you," and then Republica is all about, "I'm standing on the rooftop shouting out, baby, I'm ready to go." So I like and both those are real tough songs. Ready to Go came out in '96, and Volcano Girls came out in '97.
Well, I can go back. I'm going to go back to the '70s one more time, or
Sure,
probably more than one more time.
Okay,
but Boomtown Rats.
Okay,
they're known for "I Don't Like Mondays."
Right.
Bob Geldof is known for starting the whole
Live
Aid thing,
Yeah.
And also was Pink in The Wall.
Yeah, but the Boomtown Rats. While "I Don't Like Mondays" is a fine song, it's a dark song, but they have a song called "When the Night Comes."
Okay.
About working your lousy day job.
Right.
And then when the night comes, forget about the day that brought you here.
Right.
And it's just like the energy and the sentiment of, I'm having a rough day at work, but at night I'm going to do something stupid and be happier.
Right.
I think
Is that an up-tempo song?
Very up-tempo.
I don't think I've ever heard.
How many beats per minute?
I have no idea, but it's
178.
It
The
starts
verge of insanity.
Right there. I'm totally wrong about that. I'm sure I am. But anyway.
But it starts off again with like a couple of just real hard acoustic guitar strums, and then kicks in, and it's like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I needed at this moment.
Yeah.
Well, when I thought of Chick, 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 I also thought of LCD Sound System.
Yeah.
And the song North American Scum from 2007, their album The Sound of Silver. And I've seen these guys live, and man, they get people up on their feet. They're just all about driving dance music.
I like this band too,
I
John.
love
You're dragging out all the bands that I like.
I
Here.
love this band. But it was between North American Scum or Daft Punk is Playing in Our House, which is probably one of their bigger hits, which is a great song.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in this, he talks about, people think that we're from Europe. We're not. We're North American scum.
Well, because of what you said, something that just starts out with just the words and the lyrics, I hadn't remembered this song, and it was like, what is that song that's nagging at my head? And it's Power Man 5000 from the 90s with the soundtrack to A Fake Revolution.
Okay.
And it starts off with, I'm not a spaceman, but on the other hand, and it just like goes off.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden the music comes in. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that my kids I'd interviewed them and I liked them okay, but my son Andrew was crazy about them.
Yeah.
And the rest of them.
I like them too.
Yeah, they were really
What's
good.
going on with you guys? I should
have
pull
some
up
overlap.
Some 60s gems or something now. Okay, well, this is kind of a flip side to the Prince thing, and it's also starting with the words, and it's Alanis Morissette's You Ought to Know.
Yeah.
And the thing about that, it doesn't come on powerful, but the anxiety, you can feel her unnerving tone where she just comes like, I'd like you to know that I'm happy for you. It just, but that little tremor in the voice, and then the music kicks in, and then it does what we like so much, the layer and the layer and the layer. And then, she's screaming and everything. And then it ends with a cappella kind of yelp. So it's great. And again, it's like, it doesn't have to be in your face volume wise, but just to have an unnerved voice, which nobody was comfortable with when that song came out. It was like, what's wrong with this gal? She needed to be in a hospital or something. And she kind of did. But I like how they just played it. And it's like, we're going to put something right up there to start with. We're not going to lead into it. We're not going to dance around it. It's like, here she is, totally crazy, and she's going to go off. And you knew she was going to go off. It was like, they lit the fuse right from the beginning.
181 beats a minute.
Is it? Oh, at the end of the song. Yeah, sure.
Because 180, go beyond that and you go crazy.
Yeah, 180. Yeah.
All right, how about this? Death Cab for Cutie, I Will Possess Your Heart from Narrow Stairs in 2008. It doesn't start, it's kind of low key,
right?
But it adds layers and layers. And I've often thought this bass player must be either on some really heavy drugs or he's on some higher level of meditation, because it plays the same bass part for like 9 minutes.
Wow.
There may be a bridge in there, I'm not sure, but it's a really creepy song. It's about, you don't know it yet, but you're going to be mine.
Bass players are just wired a little differently.
Well, it's not that the bass player didn't write it. Ben Gibbard wrote the song,
right.
But the bass player just plays the same thing over and over and over. But keeps adding layers, and by the end of the song, you're rocking your head.
Right.
It's a great song. It's from Narrow Stairs, 2008. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that reminds me of Joe Jackson. You probably remember the bass player's name, which he's forgotten right now.
Graham Maybe.
Graham Maybe.
One of my favorite bass players.
He's incredible on like the album I'm the Man, but on the title track, it's just bum, 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 bum. I mean, it's one of the fastest rock and roll songs that I know.
I covered that in a band I was in. It was really hard to play.
I bet it is, but
mainly for the bass player.
Yeah, but man, that's such a great song, and everything that guy does on the bass is incredible.
Yeah, he also plays with Freddie Johnston.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Another great songwriter.
Bad Reputation. I remember that.
Yeah.
I've got Meet the Monster by PJ Harvey. That's one of those that just starts with a rolling bulldozer of sound. PJ's going to do that. And she's got a little transition, like at the end of every verse, there's something more, there's an exclamation. So the first time she gets to the end of the verse, she goes, and then the second time it's like more of a yell. And then the third time she's blowing a whistle. And then the fourth one ends the whole song. It's just this outcoming, but it's just this kind of, she's like, I'm not running. I'm not scared. The message is scary, and she's scary, and the music is this bulldozer that's kind of like the thing, and it's just gathering momentum and picking up pieces along the way till you just get rolled over.
Who is this again?
PJ Harvey.
Oh yeah, I love PJ.
Holly Jean Harvey. Yep.
Well, just her history scares me. Things she said.
Well, yeah. She was a farm girl.
Yeah, she said she castrated a sheep or something with her teeth.
As farm girls do.
I think it was something. I can't remember exactly what she said.
Handy.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay.
It didn't bother her at all.
Apparently not.
I wouldn't ask the sheep, but it didn't bother her.
She's good, but she is scary. Well, going all the way back to the 60s, I thought about the animals with We Got to Get Out of This Place and It's My Life, which are not that fast, but still, when you listen to them, it's like, yeah, okay, this is what I need to hear.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on and do everything and be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. There are different ways to do this. They don't have to be fast. It doesn't hurt, but they don't have to be fast, and they don't have to be in your face. You know, they can be subtle or just have some kind of nervous energy to them, or just a crazy singer or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, those are things. I mean, it still does get my energy level up.
Yeah,
it makes me happy to hear them and think, okay, I'm motivated to do what I want to do, and to hell with all you people.
Yeah.
Well, one that starts I've said most of mine are like guitar riff kind of oriented, and this G Angel by Sugar, which was Bob Mould's first band post Husker Du. It's from 1994, and it starts off with the main riff of the song just blasting out of the speakers right off the bat, and it just keeps going and adding more layers as it goes, and it never lets down the energy level. It's a great song, G Angel, and I almost picked out from that same band, That's a Good Idea, because it's got some really cool guitar stuff in it too, but G Angel's much more just four on the floor, rocking straight ahead right off the bat.
There's a Jeff Beck's album, Jeff. The entire album, except for maybe one song, are just super high energy. It's the guitar that is just, he's using loops and distortion and all sorts of stuff. And I think I made you listen to something at some time, because he's like, he uses a lot of female vocals just on loops and stuff. And man, when it kicks off, there's a song on there called Trouble Man, and there's My Thing, and Grease Monkey, and all of them. I mean, you're exhausted by the time that this album is over because it's also high energy.
Cool.
And that's the thing. I know you're not a guitar fan, but
no. Well, I don't dislike them as much, but I'm the least like. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like John's saying, guitars are the thing for the most part that really pumps me up. I mean,
they pump me up too often, right?
Yeah.
I just think some of the older days when it's just kind of all about the guitar, a lot of times that kind of fell flat because it was perfunctory,
Well, I think there's a few piano players who can get that energy. Ben Folds can when he wants to. Elton John could do it. I mean, Burn Down the Mission is that's another one. It's like I have to crank it up, listen to it twice, and it's just got so much energy to it.
Right.
I just love it. But I just think guitars, for the most part, are the instrument that can capture that energy more than a lot.
Yeah, well, as a guitar player, that's going to be my preference. But
I think anything can. Like I was saying, the vocals can, the rhythm section can, the guitars can, a horn section can. There's so many parts that can take over and be the alpha of the song.
Well, not cool to like Chicago, but 25 or 6 to 4, the horns on that, the whole everything about that is it's hard not to feel all that energy.
I like that song. Okay, for Chicago.
Yeah, early Chicago I am fine with. It's the Peter Cetera Chicago stuff that
Sarah and I we just got into discussion yesterday when we were going someplace, and she's saying, for my generation, Chicago is Peter Cetera. And I'm like, there's so much more before that. I appreciate that era. I appreciate that he basically saved that band.
Well, it's like Jonathan Cain and Journey. So he just brought in all the gloppy, syrupy stuff that the housewives want to hear.
So they like Peter Cetera as a soloist too, then? Because golly,
oh
wow.
man, that is so sappy.
That's when it really rocks bottoms. So
but that's
there's a market for that.
Sure.
Group.
Who are we to say?
Well, I felt the need to include one of my favorite bands, Fugazi. There's so many great songs, but I landed on the song Sieve Fisted Find from 1990's Repeater. and it's got this incredible bass line. It's like really fastly picked, and the bass is kind of distorted, and he's not even really playing notes. It's like he starts on a note and then just kind of dive bombs the note all down the neck. So it's going. It's just, and it's got this great lyric about here comes that self same problem all wrapped up in solution. I think that's a great line.
Yeah. My last 90s song is Setting Sun by Chemical Brothers, and it's because it comes in with this riff that sounds like a siren, and it goes like from speaker to speaker. It's just sort of this.
Stereo.
That's how it starts, and it only builds up from there. They drag in Noel Gallagher from Oasis. He's actually the vocalist on that song, which is kind of interesting because Oasis wasn't really known for that kind of music. But I think that song for me was a prototype for a lot of songs that I would come to like in the 2000s because it was stepped up the intensity. There was more. If that wasn't enough for you, then they're going to give you more. And that one certainly did. Prodigy did that some too, but especially Chemical Brothers.
Well, I've got Adrian Belew, who was guitarist for the Talking Heads, auxiliary guitarist for them, and played with David Bowie and Frank Zappa, and
Wacko guitar player.
Great, crazy guitar player. But my favorite thing that he ever did, and it always pumps me up, makes me feel good, is a collaboration with somebody who didn't know he was collaborating with him. A fellow called Prophet Omega, who was like a radio preacher living in Nashville. And he became like this cult thing where musicians discovered him and started listening to him. And Adrian Belew had recordings of his little sermons, which were more motivational than religious. Mm-hmm. And it's a song called I Am What I Am from the album Young Lions. And he's just, Prophet Omega is just saying, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And he's talking about you just got to accept yourself, and you are what you believe you are.
Didn't Popeye already say that?
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason I like it.
Okay.
But Adrian Belew just adds this guitar stuff and these beats behind him that just, it drives it home, and you think, yeah, this guy he really is a prophet. He really is great.
He is who he is.
That's right.
Well, I think they must have used some of that same prophet on the David Byrne, Brian Eno, My Life in the Bush of Ghosts, because there's all kinds of like radio preachers going, ah.
Oh, those are different ones. But
I remember hearing I Am What I Am on that record.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Wonder if they used the same.
I can't remember, that, but that was, this was the 90s, early 2000s.
Well, because My Life in the Bush of Ghosts was probably
70s, 80.
Yeah, I want to say 79 or 80.
Yeah.
Popeye predates that, guys.
I'm glad you can go back further. Than, you could go back to.
I saw cartoon reruns,
1932 or whatever it was when Popeye premiered.
Well, I got one that may overlap with you, Chuck, a little bit. I wonder what you think of Stereolab.
Oh, I love Stereolab. Letitia Sadier.
Yeah, the song is Nihilist Assault Group from 1994. Mars Audiac Quintet is the album. It's kind of droney. And it's got these real sing-song layered vocals with Letitia Sadier and the other young lady that sings. But I think the secret weapon in Stereolab is the drummer.
Sometimes, absolutely, yeah.
His name is Andy Ramsey, and he's just propulsive drummer.
Yeah.
And that's what saves a lot of the Stereolab stuff from kind of sinking into sort of boring, and the drums just pick it up.
Yeah.
So that would be, it's called Nihilist Assault Group from 1994, Mars Audiac Quintet.
All right. I'm going to plunge into some hip-hop and R&B, stuff like that. I want to start with 2003. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they came out with her solo debut song after she, left the band. And it was Crazy in Love by Beyonce. And Jay-Z has a big part of it. And the whole song sounds like an announcement of, here is your next big star. And again, that was 2003, and everything fulfilled it, and they became the royal music couple of this generation and this, century. This isn't really related, but it's just the next year. Toxic by Britney Spears. No matter what you say about Britney, and I'm not going to say she gives me energy in most of her songs and everything, this is a well-written song. Yeah. It's a really very well written song, and it just starts with the weird little noise and all the energy and everything. And one thing I love about it, and I wanted to hear, is that they offered that to Kylie Minogue first, and she turned it down.
Oh,
I know.
that's interesting.
I know.
You know what's funny is
If I had heard Kylie Minogue sing that song, it would probably be like one of my favorite songs.
well, I didn't really go ahead.
Who wrote it? Do we know?
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay,
Just
well,
one
you
of
just
those,
said it was well
one of
written.
those machines. Yeah, they wrote it thinking Kylie Minogue's going to love this. I'm like, oh, well, let's
'Cause
try
I was
Britney.
really hoping you were going to say Britney Spears wrote it.
Well, Lady Gaga wrote it just to trip on that. Lady Gaga wrote her hit Telephone. She wrote that for Britney Spears, and Britney Spears turned that down. So Lady Gaga and Beyonce teamed up and had this powerhouse #1 song with it. So that can happen
regretted that.
too.
Well, the interesting thing about Toxic is, I kind of dismissed Britney Spears,
Sure.
but then
Fair.
I heard Nickel Creek
Yeah.
cover Toxic,
Yeah.
and it was like, what is this song? This is familiar. It's like, but I never really listened to it like that.
It's one of those songs that any artist who with any skills could interpret it, and you think this is really a good song, regardless of what you think of Britney Spears. This is a good song that someone like Nickel Creek could do well with.
But every time you mention Nickel Creek, I think of Nickelback.
Oh, don't do that
Totally
to 'em.
different bands.
Yeah.
And I always say, is that the bad one or the bluegrass one?
Well, yeah, they covered a lot of stuff though. They covered Pavement songs. Toxic was the one when I saw them in concert though. I was just like, man, I like this, but I know it, but
Right.
what is it?
Right.
And then it was like, oh, okay.
I'll have to look that up. You've told me about that song before.
It's fun. It's
That's been
fun
doing
when a
it.
band of a completely different genre cover. It's like
Absolutely.
It's like when the Gourds did Gin and Juice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
And that's another one. I mean, I didn't think about that as a pump you up song, but man, it does.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, I mean, they do it with that bluegrass chop on the mandolin.
Yeah.
And it's just it's kind of funky in that way.
Yeah.
And there's a YouTube video of Snoop Dogg listening to their version of it, and it's so much fun because he's like, "Yeah, I like this."
I love listening to Snoop Dogg narrate nature shows. It's so funny.
That is great. He is sort of become a national treasure.
I know he has. He's all over the Olympics.
Yeah, he's great.
I have one more.
Okay.
And it veers off into the obscure. But
Okay.
the reason I picked it, it was the very first thing I thought of. Well, actually, Queens of the Stone Age, the first thing, but this is the second thing. Because my wife likes to run, and she is always compiling a running playlist. So anything that I find that's got like a really good, steady beat, and I'll say, put this on your running list. And this is a band called Shearwater. They're from Austin, Texas, and it's an offshoot of Ockerville River, if you've ever heard Ockerville River.
I like them.
Will Sheff is in Shearwater as well, but he's not the main guy. This main guy in Shearwater he studies seabirds for a living. So a lot of his songs have seabird imagery in it. Not from this one, but this song is called Filaments, and it's from their 2016 album called Jet Plane and Oxbow. And it's just got this driving beat from the gun, and they keep adding little layers to it, just like a doom 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 ba doom doom, doom 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 ba doom boom, and it just just sucks you right in from the beginning. They sound similar to either Peter Gabriel or Talk Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of real spacious, but not this song. This song rocks. It's
Okay.
called Filaments by Shearwater. Look it up.
Okay.
Peter Gabriel's song "On the Air" off his second album, I think, was just. I mean, that's another one that's like it's got so much energy to it, but it has a really dated sound now. Everything from the sounds like that. But I wanted because we brought up bluegrass.
Did
This
we?
Well, we did with Nickel Creek, but
Okay.
and this is not really a bluegrass
Nickelback?
song. No, Nickel Creek,
Nickelback,
different
you know,
band.
that bluegrass band.
But Bela Fleck released an album called Deviation when he was with Newgrass Revival. That's when he was starting to get into jazz. And he has all the members of Newgrass Revival on this, and it's like a 5-minute instrumental song. But it's just like all the best stuff about that band and him in just like a pumped up version. It's like I said, it's not bluegrass. It doesn't have that kind of bluegrass has that kind of a drive, but it doesn't generally energize me. But this does, because this is just it's got more of a beat to it, a different kind of beat, and it's terrific. But you get to hear Bela Fleck do things on the banjo that nobody else was doing at the time. Great guitar player, great mandolin player, and great bass player with John Cowell.
Okay.
There's only so much banjo I can take.
Well, the only other
Same.
instrumental song I put on here. Well, but that's one you should listen to because I bet you won't even think about the banjo that much, even though that's what opens it. It's very different.
So which album is this?
Deviation, and it's a title track. But my buddy Donald Brown, who's a great jazz player, he's got a funk jazz song called "Reruns of the '70s," called from the album "At This Time of My Life," and it's like I think it's about 7 minutes long. Gets me going, and you've heard it because it was that compilation we put together. We put a CD
preview.
compilation,
Okay.
for the entertainment section.
Who was it again?
Donald Brown.
Okay, Donald
Yeah,
Brown.
I think I'm on that one.
You are.
Oh.
Lindsay Weir's on that.
Yeah.
Thing we put together. But anyway, it was like I told you I wanted to kick off the album with it, and you said, "We're not going to kick off this album with a 7-minute jazz song." So I think it's on the end, but it's a good ending.
It's a good ending, yeah. Well, I mean, in general, you're looking for a broad audience. 7-minute jazz openers, probably not your.
It's going to weed out a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's going to weed out some people.
But it's mostly funk. But it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But that was,
Absolutely, yeah.
I will never forget when I was trying to make the list.
Yeah.
It is like you said that.
no.
We're not starting with this.
No. Sequencing.
Sequence, yes. I've sequenced a lot of albums, and hardly anybody takes my advice. Kevin Abernathy just did. I sequenced his.
I'm awful at sequencing songs together. I hate doing that.
Well, most people are. It's like it's a real art, but it's
I mean, as a reviewer, I really catch on to sequencing, and I'll think, oh, what's this song doing here? I mean, it just that's one skill. I'm not much of a musician, obviously, but that's one thing I think. I can tell this comes next, and this is where the tone is.
Well, when we were talking about it, and this is the attitude of so many people, it's like, well, you put the best song first. And it's like, no, you don't.
No.
Name your favorite albums and tell me if the best song is the first song.
It's so interesting to me how the best song on an album is often track 3 or track 7.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed
Yeah,
that?
it is.
It's just like it
is
really weird, but just all the time you'll be like, so.
Well, what I told him, and when I tell people when we talk about sequencing, is like the first song has to be the song that draws you in,
Yeah.
and then the second song has to be like a punch,
Yeah.
and once you do that, then you can go on, and it's like I want to hear the rest of the album,
Right.
But never put your best song first.
No, because people will lose the momentum and interest will just fade right away.
You're going to put that song on repeat and not listen to the rest of the album.
And I
You
do
want
that
it
a
to
lot.
draw you in and pull you through it.
Yeah. Just buzzing through here. So Hollaback Girl is not the kind of song that gives me energy and everything, but I thought about Gwen Stefani coming out with the lyrics, and it reminded me that the year before she had this song called What You Waiting For, which is kind of similar, and it starts with that tick-tock, tick-tock and everything, and I went and listened to that. It's like, this is a great song. This is a better song than Hollaback Girl, I think, and part of that's just because of the fade. But I wanted to mention a couple of kind of songs that are really made to make you work out or whatever, and that's one is Crazy with Pitbull and Lil Jon. Those two together anyway, but it's just this stirring kind of hip-hop song and just about getting stupid and sing-along rhythm and everything. And then that was 2008. In that same year, Kevin Rudolph and Lil Wayne came out with Let It Rock, which is absolutely a chest press song. There's just nothing else it can be. And it's a perfect matchup of catchy pop rock of Kevin Rudolph and, of course, rap, with Lil Wayne. The songs I was mentioning with the Chemical Brothers set up, I think these came along in 2008. There was a song called Electric Circus by Popoff, and it's like a long version of adding a layer and adding a layer and adding a layer, and it's instrumental. It's kind of like the son of New Order's The Beach. But anyway, it's Electric Circus by Popoff, and it just gets bigger and bigger, like this morphing kind of monster. And one that I just and there's a Higher by Destructo, which is this careening song. It's got that same careening type sound that Chemical Brothers had. And it's like you're watching some kind of race or something, and the only lyrics are higher, baby, get higher, baby, get higher, baby. And there's like little breaks just for those, and then it just careens even more. So it's that stack it on kind of stuff. But then one I think I like of all these is from 2010, and that's the Cataracts with Dev. And Dev is like it's the singer, and the Cataracts are these two producer guys. And it's called Bass Down Low, and it's one of the first songs I thought of because she just starts out, and again, it's a vocal start. And she goes, if you want to get with me, there's some things you got to know. I like my beats fast and my bass down low. And then the song just kind of, the whole song is just this loopy, kind of weird, it's like really charismatic and kind of a hell's a poppin' type of song. And that really brings the bass down low and has the fast beats. And I'm gonna just one of the most recent ones I like, and this is kind of a contrary to the other formats I'm talking about, but Doja Cat Say So. I've talked about that song a lot. Very subtle song, and it's very mesmerizing. And like the safety dance I was talking about, she pulls you into this other world. But the kicker in that is her rap, and the rap is like every 3 lines, it gets faster and then faster and then faster and more explicit and more explicit. And you just get assaulted by her rap. And then it slides right back into her little mesmerizing sing-songy kind of verse, which I think is really clever. And then the most obvious to tie it up to the ABBA song that I was talking about with every little piece making a difference and starting with a cappella is Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. Very obvious one there, but that was, she starts it. She's got that friendly voice. Everyone liked her then. It's really a feeling that we all have about, being put down and everything and just shaking it up. So it's got a good positive message. And Max Martin's production is great. And he adds all the instrumental touches and everything. And it's just like the ultimate sing-along song, which kind of like the ABBA thing I was talking about to start with.
I remember we used to submit to the Village Voices Paz and Jop list.
Yeah.
And I put that on my list of top singles.
Sure.
And I just remember everybody, the people I knew, just kind of,
the people
not
you
Britney
know.
Spears, I mean,
Taylor Swift.
And it's a great single.
Yeah. Anyone who sneers at Taylor Swift is like, well, you're just doing that because you're arrogant or something. Yeah, you just need. You obviously haven't listened to her. You know,
you can't. I mean, that song is just it's so catchy, and it's a perfect single.
I'm sure it was probably the top single on Paz Job. I mean, all the critics had to, most of the critics who aren't afraid to say what they believe.
Yeah, there were a lot of snobs on there.
Yeah,
would not pick.
Oh, there always are, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, it did come up quite a bit, but I don't think it was like the top.
Okay.
I can't remember what the top one was that year, but it was like she was just then like.
That was her big break. That was their 1989 album, and it's when she just made the giant leap into, this woman's going to be around for a long time, so just settle down.
Yeah. But, I just remember all the disdain, and it was like, just listen.
Yeah.
She's not Nickelback.
She's not even Nickel Creek. I'm done. You got stuff?
I got other stuff I could talk about. The only thing that is a little bit different that I can mention, and this song always gets me going, and Tim Lee and our, from the Tim Lee 3 or Bark and different things, but we bonded over Martha Hoople.
Yeah.
And the song Rock and Roll Queen, which you're talking about songs that start out a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
This starts out with all the volume at the top right at the beginning. And it sounds like a Phil Spector song or something because it's just so saturated and thick.
Right.
But it's like you got
Ian Hunter.
Ian Hunter singing, but it's the guitar player, Mick Rouse, just absolutely blasting it out. And it's just so thick.
Right.
That it sounds different from everything else, and it's right from the outset. You're like, okay, here we go.
Right.
So anyway.
Well, I think our frenzied ending here is kind of what we were saying for the songs we like. We were starting out talking casual, and then it was like, oh, gotta get this out. It was like bang, bang, bang. So.
Wait, I got one more.
Okay, let's.
Black
don't
Joe
bring
Lewis.
it down. Don't bring it down.
Booty City.
Booty City.
Come on, everybody, let me take you to Booty City.
Who is that
Black
again?
Joe Lewis.
Oh, okay.
And he was this little guy that he was popular for maybe about 4 years. He was kind of a hot thing. And, man, his songs were so much fun and so high energy. And I used to start off my late night show with that a lot.
Okay.
So anyway, okay.
You ever been to Booty City?
I've always wanted to go.
You shouldn't talk about it.
Anytime I'm with Leslie, I'm in Booty City. I hope she doesn't listen to this.
All right.
I'll do a recommendation. I have to talk about Olivia Rodrigo's new album. I've been talking her up more than any new artist, I think, of the past couple of years. It came out June 12th. And I kind of have mixed feelings about it because one thing I like about her is her smart aleck persona and everything. And this one is kind of a step of she's being more of a serious contender. I'm not saying she's patterning herself after Taylor Swift, but she's working on her vocals. They're much more sophisticated. They're stronger sounding. The instrumentation is stronger and everything. But her earlier songs, like Getting Back and Brutal and Bad Idea Right and Deja Vu and Good For You, those were all kind of send-ups, like blasting some guy for this reason or another. And this album, it's much more slower and much more deliberate. And again, it's very sophisticated. The sound is awesome, but I don't know if this is really what I wanted to hear from her. And maybe that's just me holding her back. And I do realize, looking at her target audience, that I'm not that, you know. So people who, the first four or five songs are just all about just being deeply, deeply infatuated in love. And it almost sounds like she was going back to her teen. She's 23 now. It's almost like she's going back to her teen years to have these real, wide-eyed kind of love type songs. Now, of course, it's leading up to the downfall and the backside of that and everything. Oh, I'm sorry. The name of the album, too, is This Says Everything. The name of the album is You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love. So
I like that.
Yeah, it's a great title. And there are some really wonderful songs that come up. There's a lot of diversity in the mixes and all that. She's working with Dan Nigro, that's her producer, who also produced Chapel Roan. So I think she's stepping it up to be more serious and everything. But she was so great when she wasn't serious. So it's kind of a hard adjustment to make. But I've got to accept I believe in this woman, and she helps me out. Some of the earlier songs, she had The Cure and Drop Dead, and What's Wrong With Me. That's a song with Robert Smith from The Cure, so she does a duet with him. But she hits twice with track 6, not track 7, but track 6, the song My Way. This is one of those like instant blast energy type songs that we've been talking about. And that's this one all through. It's My Way, and it's a very 80s. There's a lot of 80s vibes through this whole album. But and she's blasting another woman who's kind of hitting on her boyfriend, and I think that's in a way that's passé for people don't like it's not kind of anti-feminist when the women are pitted against each other. But she's been beating up on men so long. Let her take her swings at this woman too. Who has it coming. And I love this song so much. Literally listening to the album, I had to stop and listen to it dozens of times before I could move to the next song.
Interesting.
It's just so awesome. That's My Way. And there's another one, I forget the name of it, but it's I think it's track 8, Connections. Yeah. And it's kind of a B-side, and it's got that 80s energy too. So there are two like really energetic songs, and all the rest of them are again, very layered and pretty and well produced. I was just hoping for something different, but I think her core audience probably will respond very well to it, and I'm still a big fan. And My Way, that's my favorite Olivia Rodrigo song. It was the first time I heard it, and I love a lot of her songs.
I have to hear this one. I like it when, I think it's difficult when artists are growing and figuring stuff out for, your fans, and you're just used to this one thing, and it's what you want. But I like that they do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you look at it and you think, well, if she just did a bunch of sassy songs again, people would think that shtick is getting old and she's getting older. So I get why she does it, and I support that. But I wanted more of the fun stuff.
Well, to me, I look at the Beatles are the epitome of here's the great rock act that took over everything.
Yeah,
and it's like their first couple albums, the first few albums are all high energy, kind of light topics, and they just got deeper and deeper, and they lost some people, I'm sure. Yeah, but it's just like I love it.
They needed to go through it.
Yeah, and so I'm as interested in this as the other things that you've recommended more highly.
Yeah, well, you might like it better too.
Yeah. Same's true of Radiohead. They started off with Pablo Honey and I'm a Creep, and and I think they just didn't like being stars.
Yeah.
And then they put out the Benz, which is heavier, and then they put out
Yeah.
what's the one?
Today.
No, it was
Or
before
OK
Kid A.
Computer.
OK Computer, which is just
Okay,
amazing
Computer's
record.
an amazing album. Yeah.
And then Kid A came out, and you could hardly even hear their voices. I mean, it was like they were just, and they have since they've done whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's not all fun times, but I really respect them.
I do too. I mean, and to me, like the one that really puts you over the edge is Neil Young. You know, I mean, you never know you're going to love his album or hate his album, but I respect the fact he does what he wants, and you know, we're supposed to figure it out, and maybe we follow him on this one and we don't on the next one.
You got to do the work.
Yeah.
I love how we go from Olivia Rodrigo to Radiohead to Neil Young.
And I bet Olivia's
It all
listened
makes
to all of them.
She would love that. She would love that. That's all she wants.
I just thought of this. There's a great intro, and I'm sure you've heard it, Wayne, that Neil Young does on a live album where he goes, "Here's a song that's guaranteed to bring you right
down."
bring you right down. It's called "Don't Let It Bring You Down,"
And it is.
It kind of starts sort of slow, and then it just fizzles out altogether. I just love that intro.
Yeah, it has got some of the grossest lyrics of any song ever. Would you have a recommendation, John? Or
I do. I discovered this just on my radio station, and it came up, and I thought, what is this? I like it. And it's the Barr Brothers, B-A-R-R. They've put out 3 or 4 albums. They're Montreal-based, but they're from Rhode Island. And Brad Barr sings and writes the songs, and Andrew Barr plays the drums, and they have a band with them. They have a harp player with them, and a pedal steel player. They play sort of folk blues Americana from Montreal. But their latest album is called Let It Hiss. It's from 2025. And it's really strong. It's real low key, really folky, really acoustic. There's not a lot of electronics on it, but really good stuff. The Barr Brothers, Let It Hiss. Take a listen.
All right.
All right, I'm totally different direction from what we've been talking about. I want to recommend 1968, the Notorious Bird Brothers. Quit laughing, Chuck.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. This was the album where the band nearly broke up. They fired David Crosby, which I think was probably a good thing because he was such a pain in the butt. Of course, then he went on to form Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. But anyway, it's like their most kind of psychedelic album.
This is before Graham Parsons?
Yeah, this is right when Graham Parsons was kind of getting into their circle. And it's psychedelic, but it's also very folky. And the highlights of this album are 2 songs written by Carole King and Jerry Goffin. Going Back and Wasn't Born to Follow. Wasn't Born to Follow was used in the film Easy Rider. And it's just, to me, it's all the best things about the core members. I mean, by that time, Gene Clark, who was one of the main songwriters, was gone. And you just had the drummer, Michael Clark, Chris Hillman, and Roger McGuinn, who started off as Jim McGuinn, and he got into some kind of religious cult where he changed his name to Roger.
Well, that's more holy.
I never figured out the whole thing. I interviewed him one time, and he kind of skirted over it. He said, "I was just into this sort of thing." But anyway, it's one of those albums where you put it on and you leave it on because it feels like a journey when you've gone through it. But
sounds like Journey?
No, it sounds nothing like Journey.
Thank goodness.
But it's got a little country and bluegrass to it, and like I said, it's got a lot of psychedelic stuff, but it's just beautiful.
I can picture the cover, but I'm not sure I've ever really listened to it.
Yeah, well, what's funny is they're like in a stable, and it's got the 3 guys, and then there's a horse. And I think David Crosby was supposed to be there where that horse was, but they fired him.
So he's a horse's ass.
Well, they had said something similar.
Well, let's not go any further with that.
No, I interviewed David Crosby.
We are in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I interviewed
for the
David
time
Crosby.
For now.
He was an interesting interview.
All right.
Well, I can go straight into the movie recommendation.
Sure.
It's a documentary on HBO called The Crash.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh, my gosh. It is about...
The Crash?
Yes. A
The
group of
Crash?
young people, one of them being a teenage girl, and she was driving the car, and the car is like... We don't know exactly why the crash happened, but it seems very intentional into the side of a building. And everyone dies but this one girl. The car.
They're all teenagers.
Well, I think her boyfriend may be 20.
Oh yeah,
He
he was a little older.
He was older.
But they were young people.
They were young people, and it's just one of those documentaries where
it starts out, you think one thing, and then it slowly turns.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, you're still not quite sure what the motivation was, but you got a good idea, and it's just toxic people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was fascinated with that.
It was. I mean, it's one of those things where you think I shouldn't be as interested in this as I am.
Right.
Because it's really, I mean, it's just one little incident, but you're interviewing, you've got interviews with her parents and different people who knew them, and they all have different ideas, and they're all finding out things as just as the story is going on. The interviews are going on, people are finding out. But it's riveting. And
all
it's
right.
brand new on HBO.
Okay.
I found on Netflix a live Loudon Wainwright concert from 2018 called "Surviving Twin."
Yeah,
and it's him on stage. He's playing and singing, but he's also talking about his grandfather, Loudon Wainwright, with no numbers, and then his dad. And he talked about his dad, and he talks about himself, and he talks about Rufus, and just parenthood in general. And at one point, he says, "My grandfather married my grandmother in a suit that he bought from so-and-so," and he turns around and he pulls it out, and there is the suit, and he puts it on, and it fits him perfectly. It's his grandfather's suit that he got married in. It's really great, and Loudon Wainwright is just
is
such
it performance or is it doc?
It's a performance. He's mostly it's a lot
him on stage.
It's him on stage. It's a lot of him playing his songs, but also a lot about him talking about his relationships with his parents and grandparents and his children, and it's appropriate for Father's Day.
Yeah, well, it came out about the same time he put out his. It's not quite an autobiography. It's more like a David Sedaris thing, where it's like memoirs, but called liner notes, and it's really good too. But it's funny because he's so much better on stage doing that than he is, because I've got the audiobook of it. It's better seeing him and hearing him tell those stories.
He's such a thoughtful songwriter and interesting. He'll say a line and you think, wait, that was a weird way to phrase that, but I think he did that on purpose because he means for you to think about these things.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's called Surviving Twin. It's on Netflix. Loudon Wainwright III. Really good.
All right. Wayne, did you tell me that Lauren saw Backrooms?
She liked it.
She did. Okay, because you were thinking that maybe you would see it, and
right. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
But,
well, I'm not going to give that much away about it. I don't think I can give anything away.
That's the thing.
It.
She didn't tell me too much about it either.
No. Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to say I don't know what happened, but it's just kind of a. But anyway, Backrooms. It's a psychological horror film, and it's directed by Kane Parsons, who I think is just 20, and it's kind of. It's only partially based on this, creepypasta, like the lore that they create online, and people, Todd's looking at me like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So there's kind of this lore about the premise of Backrooms, and some people are turned off by it because it doesn't really follow everything that's been online. The Parsons just shifted right into making a movie based on just how he wanted to.
Right.
So, again, it's called Backrooms, and fundamentally, it's about a guy who owns a big furniture store. It's played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. So he owns this, and like there's never any customers there. He's got 2 people who work for him, and he's having trouble with his wife, and he discovers this passageway, this kind of hidden passageway from what you know to be the store into other rooms, and it's just room after room after room, and they're very eerie, atmospheric, not very rarely like blatantly scary, but just weird things where furniture's kind of half together. It's all in the middle of the room, and there's like this hum that's going on, and it's just like alternate universe, I guess. I don't know the creepypasta terms for this, but and he's also seeing a counselor who's played by Renata Rensev, and he gives her a call and says he's staying in this alternate universe or something. And she's like, what's going on with this guy? So she goes, again, it's just this furniture store with just big furniture store with no customers. And the two other people who work there, they kind of get involved in the story too. But it's not so much what's happening and how you define what's happening. It's just about this whole dimensions, and it's very dreamlike in a way if you have kind of dark dreams, and there's some like isolation and uneasiness and everything with what's happening, but not just blatant, terror after terror or anything like that. It's just really unusual. And I think that coming out of that, I've thought about it a lot more than I normally do movies.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And you're, if you just need everything tidy and spelled out for you after you see a movie,
don't.
Yeah, don't even bother with this one if you want everything to be fully explained, because there's some explaining that can't even be done. There's some found footage scenery. It's a found footage part of it. I think that's the first part of the movie, actually, where someone kind of ventures back there. But it's just all doesn't make sense in a way, but it kind of does at the same time.
Liminal space. That's the term that they use about this.
What?
Liminal space.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so. The lemon is the limit at which point you recognize something.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why
very...
when something's subliminal, it's below your
right.
obvious recognizing of it, but
right.
But you're still getting information.
Yeah, you're trying to project upon what you're seeing, what you know, but doesn't jive with what you're actually seeing. And it's just kind of like this whole idea that there's this, our version of the world that we see is all there is to it, but we really only see and define it by what we know. Yeah. It's just really, really bizarre. And it's interesting, this movie and Obsession, this one came out, Backrooms came out in, May 29th, and Obsession had come out May 15th. And both of them are very much Generation Z type movies. Uh-huh. Obsession's a really weird kind of love story gone wrong, kind of a Fatal Attraction thing. And it's a little more conventional with this one, but it has its own weird twist. These two movies are doing great. Yeah. And actually Hollywood's seeing kind of a boom for this kind of stuff going on rather than, their tried and true blockbusters. And like when I saw Obsession, there were so many young people in there. Mm-hmm. I thought, wow, young people go to the movies still, I guess. So it's kind of a renewed energy for Hollywood, which I didn't think we would see at all. But
well, I'll tell you, I think part of this is a backlash to everybody's cell phones and everything. Because what my daughter tells me is she loves to go to movies.
Yeah, and
part of it is because it makes her put her phone.
Yes. Mm. Well, I'm an old man, but I'm just right there with you. I can't be on my cell phone. Yeah. Can't be looking out the window or anything like that. Just you got to pay attention to the movie in front of you. And then when it makes you think or at least react, it's a much better experience than at home on TV.
Yeah, well, it is watching any movie in a space like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think there's a real backlash coming to this total addicted to just constant like dopamine that we get from phones and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, sounds good.
Yeah, I think Backrooms is good. And there is a backlash for people who are already into that world before the movie came out, because the movie doesn't even address a lot of things that are, part of the lore. Yeah. But that's good, because if it went too deep in that, I think people would just be like, I can't watch this. But instead, it's imminently watchable.
Cool. So. Definitely going to see that
one. Okay. So that's it. We need some energy here. We're going to go put on some tunes. I'm going to go out and blast Olivia Rodrigo. And you guys can listen to Radiohead and Neil Young or whatever.
Whatever it is you
whatever those things you were talking about. No, you were all just both talking about a lot of bands I already like, so that was kind of energizing. Unexpected. Anyway, you can find us all over social media on YouTube,
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels,
X. And our podcast is on YouTube now. The podcast itself, if you go to our YouTube page, there's a button for podcast, or you can just, if you're just in YouTube podcasts, they ingested all of them at once. And so we had over 100 episodes go live at one time.
Oh, wow.
So that makes it a little hard to promote separate ones or whatever, but people are finding it. So if you just like to listen to podcasts on Amazon Podcast and wondered why YouTube Podcast, and you wondered why we're not on there, we are now. And we're still on Amazon Music, and we're still on Spotify, and we're still on Apple Podcasts. You can find us everywhere you want. If you've got any questions for us or any feedback for us or suggestions for topics, you can write us at howweheardit@gmail.com. Cheers. I'm gonna
welcome Bahrain.
Welcome Bahrain.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, movies, art, culture, whatever it is that's on their mind. How We Heard It was recorded at the Arbor Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee by me, John Baker. How We Heard It is a Cozy Planet production. If listening to this podcast has given you a burning sensation, then we recommend you sit in a hot tub until your symptoms fade away. If you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne or even me, you can send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. So thank you for listening, and come on back and we'll have another episode for you next week.